I love baseball cards. Got 'em, need 'em, got 'em, need 'em, need 'em, need 'em, got 'em, need 'em.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Card Show Pickups. This is actually part 2 of my weekend card show pickups. I put all of the modern era stuff in the first video, so if you get a chance, check that out. It'll be linked right up there in the corner, also at the end of this video and in the description. But I wanted to segregate the two videos between modern and vintage. I bought so much stuff at this card show. I kind of got in a little trouble with my wife. Typically my card show budget is about $100, okay? I always tell my wife I'm going to control myself. You guys know that I'm a very thrifty buyer, and I'm like $100 is my max. But when I get to the end of this video, I'm going to save the best for last, okay? I had to bum some money off my wife, an additional like $60, because I told her this is a once in a lifetime buy, and I will regret not buying this. And if, you know, I know a lot of you are sports card collectors that watch this channel, but you know when you regret not buying something, that it just eats and eats and eats away at you for so long? Well, that's kind of where I was at with this card. And I'll, you know, show that to you at the very end here. So let me just kind of go from worst to best, again, like I did in the last video, and we'll just go from there. So these pickups were over a 2-day period. Again, I spent like 10 hours at this card show. So the first day I didn't even get through all the boxes. I told the seller that I'd come back again another day and go through them some more. So that's kind of what happened. So the first day I bought a nice stack of my usual 25 for $10 vintage cards to be used for through the mails on my through the mail channel. So I'm just going to kind of leaf through these really quick. You know, these are names that you possibly will be seeing in future episodes. So again, you know, guys that are good through the mail signers, you know, that hopefully I get back and I'll share with you in a future episode. You know, Wayne Causey I just got back, so I probably won't be writing him again. Same with Nicholson. But some of these guys, I just pick them up if the deal's right. And all 25 of these cards for $10, which is a steal, in my opinion, for vintage cards. So those were the Through the Mail Thursdays. I picked up a couple more cards for Through the Mails, and these weren't 50 centers, but they were cheap, meaning like $1 or less. There's another Chuck Estrada rookie that I picked up, another Buck Hill Aces with Vernon Law and Elroy Face, which I'm going to have to get on that and, you know, send a donation to those guys to get that worked on. I actually have that card already signed, completed, and a Wally Bunker rookie. Now these next three I bought just because I wanted them. And this next one I'm going to show you, I'm actually going to probably pursue through the mail because I got this for such a cheap price. And that is a Andre Dawson rookie card for only $250, but I didn't actually pay $250. He knocked a few bucks off. And it's got Gene Richards, John Scott, and Denny Walling on there. And all 4 of these gentlemen signed through the mail. Sorry, I had a little blurry footage there, but all 4 of these gentlemen do sign through the mail. Andre Dawson, obviously, being the Hall of Famer and the most noteworthy, he signs for a small fee. So I'm thinking I'm going to send it out to these guys, and I'll hopefully get them to sign it before I send it Dawson's way. I mean, this is probably going to take me a year to complete, you know, between mailings and getting them back and all that stuff. But I'm going to start it with a $2 card, meaning it's not going to cost me a lot if I happen to get it lost in the mail or one of these guys decides to keep it on me. So in that same breath, I'm not going to get this one signed, but I did not have this card, and it is a very rough Carlton, Fisk, Cecil Cooper rookie card. And as you can tell, it's very miscut. It's very ugly. This is probably as ugly as you could get. We'll grade this a PSA 1 if you want to go that far. However, I don't think a PSA 1 should be that. I feel a PSA 1 should be more beat up than that, in just my opinion. But it's not a pretty card. However, he had a $5 price tag on it, and I thought, you know, that's not bad. I don't own one. I know there's much prettier versions out there. Maybe I'll upgrade in the future, but for $5, why not? And finally, this card was only 80 cents. You know, a little bit over the 50-cent threshold, and that's a Friendly Foes. It's got a little damage up in the corner there, but the Willie McCovey, Leon Wagner Friendly Foes, it's a Hall of Famer. What the heck? So for this entire stack with the 25 TTM cards and the 2 rookie cards, the key rookie cards I should say, I paid $17, which I thought that's more than fair. So I didn't actually pay full price, you know, what the dealer had on the card. So I thought for $17 to get the Fisk rookie and to get the Dawson rookie that I can play with, more than well worth it. All right, so I went to this next table, and this gentleman had tons of vintage, and he had 90% off, he had 80% off, he had, you know, cards separated from every year dating back to the 50s. You know, he had some very little stacks of 53 tops, 54 tops, all the way through the mid 1970s, all numerically in order, all individually priced. You know, basically a set builder's dream. You know, I've watched so many YouTubers on here. I just spent last night actually watching a gentleman named Troy down in Mississippi. He's trying to complete the 68 top set, and I asked him, hey dude, I know 2 guys that could help you complete your set. You know, and I said, the card show that I just went to was amazing. Your jaw would drop with all the vintage that you saw. So I'm gonna quit talking here and just show you what I got. And this is day 1 that I got from this seller. This is the seller that I went and saw on day 1, and he said, you know, oh, come back tomorrow, we'll do it again. I said, that's cool. All right, so under the same pretense that I go to every table, I grabbed some guys that I want to get TTM, so I'm just going to leaf through them really quick, and you can see the 90% off tag at $4. You know, that's a 40-cent card, so not bad. You know, 80 cents on Gale Harris. You know, here's a couple 70s tops, you know, that were like 20 cents. You know, there's a J.W. Porter that was $1.20. You know, another 40-cent card. You know, Carl Matthias at 40 cents. Another J.C. Martin at 50 cents. J. Hook. You know, Danny Murphy, Tom Parsons, Chuck Schilling. You know, again, guys that signed TTM. I hope to get them in the mail. So these were just kind of the throw-in in the deal. Now we're going to get to the meat and potatoes. All right. So I guess we'll start with football, because I got some really impressive baseball to show you. All right, so the first one is a John Hanna rookie card, and this was at 80% off, so not bad at all, at $4. This is a Roosevelt Brown at 80% off. Here is a Jim Parker, and I'm not really sure on the year on that, but that is not his rookie, but that is Rosie Brown's rookie card. And also a Joe Schmidt, which also falls into the TTM category. He's a good TTM signer, so I got that for 60 cents. To wrap all this up, I did not actually wind up paying the full price on these. Even at 80% off, I still got a discount. So those are the first football ones that I bought, and we're just going to run them off to the side here because the baseball only gets better. All right, so we will start with some rookie cards. No, we won't. We'll start with this. I believe a 61 tops, Whitey Ford, pitches a shutout, and you can see that at 90% off, it was only $1.50. There is one small flaw. There is some writing on the back, but I thought it was a very nice looking card for $1.50. I grabbed it. In that same breath, here's a 59 Stan Musial. Musial wraps his 3,000 hit, and as you can see, there are some blemishes on there. It's off-centered. You know, it's got a little mark on the back, but it was 90% off, and it was only $3. And I'm a big Stan Musial fan, a big Cardinal fan, and I thought, I don't have that card, but for $3, I'm going to have it now. Now, moving on to the rookies. These are some very underrated players that maybe we'll see them in the Hall of Fame someday, hopefully. And this is a 1969 Greg Nettles rookie card. And as you can see, $1.50. Only $1.50 on that. A Hal McRae rookie card. And that came out to 60 cents. So a steal there. And this was one that he had a couple copies of, but I feel like I chose the better of the two, even though there is a crease through this one. I felt the corners were a little sharper, and there wasn't damage on the back. But a Boog Powell 62 rookie card, and 90% at $3. So $3 for the Boog Powell. This next one was a steal, and this is probably, most of you will agree, one of the most impossible sets to find condition-sensitive cards, I guess you would call them. Meaning, this set is really tough to find mint versions of cards. And this is a 71 Topps Burt Blyleven rookie card for $1.50. And again, it's not in the best shape, but this set is really, really tough to find cards in great shape. So for $1.50, I got a Blyleven rookie. Now this is what finalized the deal. This is the final deal, okay? This was 80% off, so this roughly was $10. And that is a 1974 Topps Robin Yount rookie card. And it's got its problems. It has its issues. You know, it's not the prettiest, but there it is. And so we added all this together. We did some math here, we did some math there. He threw in, you know, this is all the rookie cards I just showed you, the TTMs, the football guys. And if you did the math, this comes out way more than what I'm about to tell you. You know, I mean, the Robin Yount alone was $10. $30 for the whole stack. So for $30, he sold me this whole stack with all the TTMs, with the Robin Yount rookies, the football cards, and all the other rookies, and the Whitey Ford for $30. Well, as we're wrapping up our deal, it's getting close to quitting time. You know, they typically have the mall hours from, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., which makes for a long day for somebody selling cards, especially if you do it 3 days in a row. And as we're wrapping up, and I said, oh, well, is there anything out that, you would sell at 90%, that you don't have out yet? He's like, oh, yeah, here's a stack. If you want any of those, let me know. So I pull these out, and I lay these three down. And I'll show all three of them to you. And these are rookie cards that I did not have. A Dave Parker rookie. He had 80% off of 15. A Dwight Evans rookie, which I think, either of these two guys could get the call to the Hall in a year, in my opinion. Dwight Evans and Dave Parker were one of the best in their positions for years. 20 years each for both those guys. So I threw those two down, and he didn't have much invested in them. I mean, he was only wanting $1.50 or $2 for the for both of them. But this is the card that made a second deal that day with him, and that is a 1961 Topps Ron Santo rookie card. So the 61 Topps Ron Santo and those two other cards. And I said, okay, what do you want for all this now? So he looks at him. Give me the $10 I just gave you back. Okay, sold. So for $10 more, I got this. I got a Ron Santo rookie, a Dave Parker rookie, and a Dwight Evans for $10 more. So the total bill came out to $40. I gave the guy $40. He gave me 2 5s back. I turned right around and handed the 5s right back to him. So for $40, I got the whole stack with the Santo rookie card and the Robin Yount rookie and all these cards for $40. So you would say, if I ended the video right now, holy crap, you made out like a bandit. But guys and gals, I have more. I found a card the next time I went back to this dealer's table the following day that I could not pass up. So I'm going to jump into those. We're already at the 15-minute mark, so I'm going to jump into these really quick and go through them. And first, let me just go through these really fast. These are the cheapies. These are the TTMs. And I also really like this card. This isn't a TTM, but it's the 74 Victory Leaders O-Pee-Chee version. So you can see the French Canadian language at the top there. But I was like, you know, for like 40 cents I bought that. And again, more cards to write TTM. You know, that I went, and as fast as I'm going, you know, it took me a long time to get these cards. You know, I went through thousands of cards to find just this little stack. And this little stack is irrelevant to what I'm about to show you. But these were all thrown into the deal. So, I go through his 80% stuff a little bit more, and I find this for $1. Bob Gibson, Drysdale strikeout leaders. I'll take it for $1. So then I keep going through his stuff, and I find I'm starting to make a maybe pile. And I told Troy this the other night when I was watching his video with the 68 set. I was on the fence about a Johnny Bench rookie card, and we'll talk about that in a second. The dual rookie, you know, like the Hal McRae I showed you. Well, I chose to get a different card instead, and you'll understand why when I get to that. But the next card that I found, and I did not have this individual, and this is a really sharp card, and for $5, and that's pretty much what it's worth, a Bruce Smith 86 Topps rookie, which I thought, for $5 I'll take it. You know, it's really sharp, got some nice sharp corners. I would say it would grade a 6 or a 7 easy, no problem, if I were to get it graded. But this was one that I was on the maybe list about, and I thought, well, I bought the Ron Santo the day before, so we got to get one of the other great Cubs from that era, and that is the Billy Williams rookie from the same set. And at 80% off of 60, not a bad decision. I thought, well, for $12, it's not in the best shape, but it's not in the worst shape. I mean, it's got a nice clean back, no writing on there, a little off-centered, a couple of the corners are a little rounded. But I thought for $12 for a Billy Williams rookie, done. Now, I'm going to throw both of these down together. I'm just going to clear the screen here. And when I put these down, your jaw's going to drop, especially when I tell you what I paid for them. But these go together, and that's why I'm showing them. The reason I did not buy the Johnny Bench rookie was this card that I'm about to show you. The Johnny Bench rookie was beat up. If you were to give it a -1, it probably would grade a -1. It had some cardboard tearing on the front of the card. You know, like how some of the older cards have the tearing on the front, and they're just not pretty. It had like speckles or spackles or, you know, freckles, whatever you want to call it. And it just wasn't pretty. And he wanted $25 for it. And I thought, well, maybe. Well, then he showed me this card. And he said, I'll sell this to you for $30. And I said, okay, well, I can't buy both because I just spent, you know, $40 at your table last night. And my $100 budget's going kind of already been spent. So I had to go bum some money off my wife because for $30, he said, you can have this. a 1958 Mickey Mantle All-Star. And he said the only reason that I'm selling it to you for $30 is because it's so off-centered. And you can see the centering on that. But he said if you look at the rest of the card, there's a little blemish down here in the corner. But the back is immaculate. Very clean, no writing, no, nobody glued it to anything. There's no holes stuck through it where somebody put it on their, their pinup board or anything like that. But he said, for $30, that mantle can be yours. And I was like, are you kidding me? He's like, no, I'll give it to you because I like you. You're a good good guy. You spent 7 hours with me over the last, the last 2 days. I said, I'll give you that mantle for $30. So what do you want to do? I said, well, it's between the mantle and the bench. Let me go through all the stuff, and I will decide between mantle and bench. That's what it comes down to. We're talking $5 difference. Now, my hope was that I'd be like, hey, I'll give them both to you for $40, but he wouldn't budge. He's like, I can't give you the mantle for less than $30. I said, okay, I'm not going to haggle with you over $5 or $10 or whatever. But I said, I get it. You want 30 for the mantle, you want 25 for the bench. He's like, I can't give you the bench for $10. I said, okay, I get it. So as I was going through the cards, I came across this beauty as well. The 58 Stan Musial. And this Stan Musial All-Star is not as iconic as the mantle, but still same issue, a little off-centered. It's pretty clean. Again, the back is completely clean, but a very nice card nonetheless, and he wanted $10 for it. So I lay these down side by side for obvious reasons. They're both out of the 58 All-Star set, but this was, sorry I had a phone call there, I had to cut a little bit, but these two cards for $40. And I sat there and I thought about it, 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 and I thought about it. And I said, okay, hopefully you guys agree with me in the comments below, but I felt the mantle was a more solid investment than the Johnny Bench. Now, don't hate me if you're a Johnny Bench fan, but I just really felt that this 58 Mantle All-Star at $30 was something that I would regret if I never bought it. We finally got down to the witching hour, so to speak, and I said, okay, we already talked about those two. You said $40 for the pair, which I thought was more than fair. I said, what do you want for all these? Which these are the TTMs I showed you. The Bruce Smith and the Billy Williams rookie. And I went to him, and this was almost when the card show was about over. And I said, how about $60 for all of it? And he said, okay. So if you just did the math right here, these would add up to like $52 for what his asking price was. $52, was that or whatever. And essentially he gave me the Bruce Smith, for $5, which was $57. And whatever these added up to, I would say he gave me about $5 off. So the reason I'm sharing that with you is, really, the mantle was only $25. After all the haggling that we did for 2 days, he's like, I gotta get 30 for the mantle. I gotta get 30 for the mantle. I gotta get 30 for the mantle. He eventually broke and gave me another $5 off. So really, if you want to look at it, I either got these for free or I got the mantle for $25. This is probably one of the best cards in my collection now. And I know it's not the prettiest. I know it's not the most mint condition 58 mantle. But I guarantee you that my investment of $25 to $30 was very solid. And if I keep up this for 20 years, I keep this for 5 years, I try to sell this next week, I can get $30 out of it. And I bet a lot of you would say, well, I'll give you $30 for it. And I'm like, well, no doubt. But the reason that I'm sharing this with you in a 2-part episode. I know this video kind of went long, but I had a lot of stuff to show. But this was a massive haul of vintage cards from this last card show. And I know some of you have made comments to me that you would really like me to show you some footage of this card show. I will do that for you in the near future. It's just this weekend, when I spend 10 hours just looking through cards, that's like almost a day and a half of card show time that if I walked around recording, I wouldn't be able to find these deals. So I almost have to go all 3 days of the show and record one day, go through cards the other 2 days to bring that to you. So I talked to the show promoter. He's very, willing for me to show that footage. I want to thank you for joining me for a longer episode. Again, please check out part 1 if you want to check out some of the newer cards that I picked up. But adding this iconic Mickey Mantle card to my collection, that's something that I want to pass down to generations. My kids to their kids, etc. I know we talk about how dumb cardboard is, but, I would say, some may disagree with me, that this is one of the top 10 Mickey Mantle iconic cards that's out on the market. And it's probably one of the most affordable. I'll take the most affordable Mantle over not having a Mantle, is the way I look at it. So, thanks for joining me for another episode. I know this one was kind of long. It was almost 30 minutes, but these were some huge buys. I hope you enjoyed this. Look forward to your comments below. If you want to skip around in this episode, I will put the hot links at the bottom as well. Thanks.